Man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I kind of just freestyled this shit last night, right? I kind of just like wrote a bunch of shit down last night and couldn't sleep and stuff, but you know, focusing on another man. Yeah, no, the usual. But yeah, man, basically like this era of Patrick, I feel like he's too nice about it, and like he's, you know, just grateful for the opportunities and love he's getting from everyone in the industry, and you know, the fact that he's even, you know, able to show his face and do what he once, you know, loved, and you know, it was the only thing he wanted to do. You know, and all that is cool, and you know what I'm saying, appreciation, and you know, we want to see the real him, but I mean, when are we gonna get some character work, some sports entertainment? Regardless of what I may say, he may not do, because it just goes against, you know, what he wants to do and how he wants to portray himself. But you know, if I had the pen or whatever, I would want for him to get a lot more gritty with it, you know, still stay authentic, because you know, he does have this YouTube channel and he's recording his daily life, his meals, his get ready with me's and Q&A's, giving his real life takes and opinions and stories on things. And that's a side of him we never really got before he went away. You know, getting his wisdom on things and showing who Patrick Clark really is. We never really got that before. I still think he could have that now. And like he said in the CVV interview, he wants to get away from that Velveteen Dream character, at least for now, hopefully. And if that's really true, I feel like you really have to be very different from the Velveteen Dream, doing things he would never do. And by that I mean like kind of get more gritty, like I said, a little more extreme, kind of street style, like kind of matches, like street fights, and like interpret that into this new character form, a more brawler type of wrestler. I feel like with the vibe he's going for, he's more fitting in that role now, like kind of scrappy and clawing to get victories. He was kind of embodying that in the end of his NXT run as the Dream, but it wasn't really fully fleshed out. I mean, nothing ever really was with him. His career was so short looking back on it. Because truly right now it's just like kind of slow and a little confusing for me at least. Because we've seen him like after his return to Dynasty in New York earlier this year. He cut his fro that he had during the match with Alec Olden and dyed it red. And I instantly thought about, you know who, Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman looking at. And it's crazy because I don't think he ever really cut his hair before when he was with the Fed. I don't think he ever really cut his hair or dyed it at all, period, before. I mean, he did dye it in his match with Kushida, but I don't think that was dye. I think it was spray paint. And I think it would be pretty cool for him to portray himself as the Rodzilla man, Dennis Rodman, and kind of be like the Dennis Rodman of wrestling. And it's funny because Dennis Rodman is considered a wrestler, which is crazy insane, because you know he has his few WCW matches and shit, but he's not a real wrestler, okay? We know that it's not his thing, and it never really was his thing or whatever. He just kind of got the opportunity, and he was always a lifelong fan, and he got on TV with a childhood hero of his, goddamn Hulk Hogan, is just smoking cigars and throwing up the NWO sign and just looking cool as shit on TV. That was pretty much his role, and he did it. I feel like Patrick, I feel like he could take this gimmick, sort of, this visual of Dennis Rodman and the actual Dennis Rodman, you know, we know and love. I feel like he could take elements of what made Dennis Rodman such an attraction and a Hall of Famer by now. He should be in the NBA. Just like he did with Prince, and like how he, you know, did the weird interviews and the purple was everywhere, purple rainmaker, and when doves fly, you know, the 3 lens glasses, you know, take certain elements of that character, just like he did Prince, but with Dennis Rodman, and put that into the Patrick Clark character. But Patrick Clark Jr., like the man himself, is not entertaining, like the human himself. Like I said, the Q&As, the DIYs, the ABCs he's doing on his YouTube channel, it's cool and all, but it's not pro wrestling. It's not like larger than life. It's not an attraction. It's not putting asses in seats. I'm sorry. Dream is, but Patrick Clark, I don't know. It might be too early to say. Like, no, you gotta turn it up. You gotta spice it up a little bit. You gotta be a character again. And you know, like I said, taking elements of inspiration from a pop icon, Rodzilla, it could work. I mean, everyone is already commenting on socials that he looks dead ass like Dennis Rodman. I mean, he has the sunglasses, he has the physique, kinda. He's kinda losing weight right now. He's already kinda playing into it, like he kinda dyed his hair green at the back. Like, I don't know if he already beat me to it, but I'm still going with this vid. I just want to get my thoughts and ideas out there. But he should be that character, be that grandiose, larger than life, larger than the show even itself, like he once was with the Dream, but on a much smaller scale. Like, obviously, this Dennis Rodman sort of character, it doesn't beat Dream, because Dream is Dream, my nigga. But in this little indie scene, that more gritty, that more in real life, that more kind of realistic brawler type of style, I feel like that's what that crowd, is really attracted to, and could really be a new direction for him. And he knows that, and he's been known that. He's known that as, before, when he was Patrick Clark Jr. Under NXT with the damn USA tights and generic buzz cut. Like, he knew it wasn't working. He tried the whole Donald Trump supporter thing. Like, he was trying these different things. Like, he knows that he should be a character entertainer. He knew he had to switch it up. He knew he had to change something, and he knew he had to reach for that brass ring. He knows what this business is all about and how to truly get over, because he did it before. But it just seems like right now he's taking his sweet ass time and going real slow with it, like putting his feet in the water, like kind of unsure about things. And I don't like it. Like, straight up, I don't like it. But going back to the character, I really believe he should portray himself as a different breed, like a sort of real, like, man, like real brawler type of guy. I would love to see him do some more extreme matches and stuff like that, cut different kind of heelish like promos, like serious promos, and like with none of the ambiguous nature that was in his older work as the Dream. Just looking like way different to the Dream character, kind of like Taker as the American Badass. Like, there were limits to the Undertaker character, but when he turned into the American Badass, like, he unlocked a new mode and still took some of those elements into when he eventually got back to being Taker, which is, something I want to touch on later too with Dream. But I want to see Dream do a bunch of cool stuff in the indies and, tell some pretty cool stories and like prove himself and make people want to see him on their screens again. No matter what it is, where it is, I just want to be entertained by bro. And I feel like I'm not truly being captivated by the stuff he's doing right now. But regardless, no matter what I say, what I want, I know he's gonna do what he does, however he does it, and I know it's gonna be pretty good. Great, I hope. But I just want to accentuate everything it could be, because like this little underground rebuild era, I swear, man, it could be such a legendary career changing move that it's like a blessing in disguise in a weird way, like something a lot of people wouldn't expect, and in the future we look back on fondly. I've always thought, like, it's a damn shame bro never even made an appearance as the Dream on the main roster, except for with his Tough Enough contestants. I think it was like around July something 2015, like when they were shooting that show and they just started, and Alita like brought them out. That was the only time he was on Raw, literally the only time. And I just want to think, like, 2020, if that bullshit bunch of crap never happened, I honestly believe he would have been a part of that 2019 brand wars thing. I think he would have been Team NXT. I feel like Gunther was there. Like, I don't think people even knew who he was then. Like, Dijak was there. Like, I don't know if people want to see that, my boy. Like, I mean, it's like no disrespect to him. I don't think they were ready, and I don't think they were as over as him. But he was injured. Did have that back injury, so I don't know. I do be thinking, like, if he wasn't injured, would he have been a part of that? And if he wasn't injured, would he have been called up earlier? He was already a champion. I mean, he already kind of got over enough on the brand. I mean, definitely, someone you want on your TV screen, and that we all eventually want him to go back to. We all want him to go back to that character and be back in his Dream form. I know what he said, he's moved on from that, and from whoever he was in that time of his life, but it's just not that serious, man. I feel like if he's truly mature, he could just be that character again and just, have his head on a swivel. He's seen the bottom now, and like, he's grown up now, so I feel like he could snap back into that bag and none of his character switch would even be necessary. Cause I know he said he's done and he's buried the Dream, giving him a little nice headstone, but you might want to reconsider, my man. Cause like recently, I just keep talking about the Dream. Like recently I was just looking back on, all these promos, I just like uploaded some, stuff I found on Facebook, and that, everyone always says it, bro. Everything was there, man. Oh my goodness. Like, there's so much left for that character to do. So many feuds, so many rivalries, man. So many WrestleMania. Not even WrestleMania. I feel like he would have fucking killed the damn, like, this past Backlash entrance. Man. I feel like he would have fit so well on this roster already. Because this roster is essentially black and gold. Like, if you look at the shows, it's a bunch of motherfuckers who was Black and Gold at the time when he was Black and Gold. But no, like I said, no disrespect to these guys, but he had it figured out way before them. He had it down pat way before them. So just imagine, the presence on television every week. It's still so many guys, still so many Black and Gold guys, some 2.0 guys, right? And can't blame that on them, but still kind of trying to get the fans behind them. Johnny Ciampa is kind of, I feel like eventually they want to do that little turn. They want to do that feud again, but will people care? I mean, we're on a new era. We're on a new wave. We're on a bigger scale. And, they're still trying to kind of claw, and Dream will not have this issue, I swear. And, like I said, just before he was about to hit his stride, he didn't even hit the main roster yet. I mean, bro was singing the national anthem on NXT, the catchphrases, different outfits. Everyone he worked with, even minuscule feuds with whoever, he made it mean something. And he made something as little as someone saying his name into feud of the damn year, man. Nobody else is doing stuff like that, especially in that developmental territory. Like I said, in the time in Black and Gold where the stories were kind of let's keep it a book. The takeovers, the shows, the wrestling was amazing, but stories were kind of rushed, kind of the same old tropes. Niggas ain't really cut promos for real. If you weren't Johnny Ciampa or Undisputed Era, don't even think about touching that microphone, little nigga. And just shit like that. You're not getting a mic tonight. But we cared when he did, and we were enamored with his presence. And every time, bro, he was the purple prince of pugilism. So basically what I'm trying to say is we need to bring that back eventually. If he gets on a larger scale again, if he gets to one of the top 3 shows, and you know what shows I'm talking about, the 3 letters on each and every on all of them, I feel like he should bring that back eventually. But right now we're here, and I don't want to book these underground matches. I don't want to fantasy book his entire indie career, but I do want to put things on the surface, and I do want to give an idea of what it should resemble, sort of. I don't think it should go exactly like this, and I know it won't, but he could be capturing all this and talking about behind the scenes stuff like this on his YouTube channel, capturing this entire experience, showing you what it's like after the show, how they set up shows behind the scenes, breaking kayfabe, because we do want to see who Patrick Clark really is. I've grown to, especially with that CVV interview, I feel like a lot of people would want to see a more real side to him, regardless of, any entertainment. And that was another part of his downfall. It was just so easy to count him out and see him as this sexually ambiguous character. It was hard to separate Patrick Clark from the Velveteen Dream because we didn't know who the fuck Patrick Clark was. And you just see these crazy rumors and these arrests and see these horrible things people are saying about him, trying to match it up to the actual human that we didn't know. I mean, he was so in character, which is something I really respect and I really wish people would do. But I feel like it's kind of dead at this point. But he was so in character, even in little interviews, over the phone interviews. I remember some interview, he was trying to cut it short. I forgot what it was. I forgot what it was for, but I think it was the ladder match, the forgotten NXT North American Championship inaugural match that Adam Cole won. And dude was talking on, dude was blabbing, dude was going off. He was just oh man, saying ask him that damn question, what's your strategy? Come on, bro, I don't slam myself in the ladders, I don't train for this shit. You just try to damn get it, bro. He was saying all that shit, and then bro just kept blabbing, and then Dream was all right, man, the Dream's gotta hit these weights, what I'm saying, wrap it up or some shit. It's just oh my goodness, bro. It's pretty goated. I can't even name too many people who are still in character, fully, all the way in now. I feel like MJF was at one point. Tony is now. But, it's dead, like I said. So that's not really, it's not needed, bro. It's it's unfortunate that, it's not normalized, but it's whatever, you feel me? Regardless, I would love to know the true Patrick Clark, and I feel like we could get to know him throughout this journey. But he still needs to be entertaining and bring that whole character switch and, bring it up to a T and just like turn it up. I mean, don't be that character. I mean, whatever. I mean, unless the red light is on, I mean, and you're in the ring or whatever. And Dennis Rodman, I feel like this is another topic I want to tackle and nail into y'all heads. This whole Dennis Rodman character. I kind of came to this epiphany, as we all did. I feel like seeing his new image, seeing him with his hair cut and red and dyed and with his sunglasses, like I said, and he came out at that Change for Wrestling show with the Boondocks theme music. Even recently at MCW, he was in the street kind of clothes, tight jeans, the hairy ass chest. He wasn't walking all slow and, you know what I'm saying, like he used to be as the Dream. I mean, he does do the V pose because, you know, at the end of the day, he did come up with these signature moves and poses, and he should do that. He's earned that right to still be the Dream because he is the Dream, formerly known as, you know, Patrick Clark, formerly known as the Dream, which is another play on how Prince, if you don't know, if you're too young, Prince, he changed his name to the symbol or the artist, formerly known as the Prince. So there's just another play on him, pretty much just stealing Prince's flow word for word, but he still has to say he's formerly known as the Velveteen Dream because he can't use that name. So it's, you know, double meanings out the ass, you understand me? And it's just like with Patrick Clark, but I don't get it with Patrick Clark. I don't know who Patrick Clark is. I'm not entertained by Patrick Clark. So it's like, why not make the most out of it? I mean, people instantly see you and think Dennis Rodman. Tall as I don't know what, red hair, hairy chest, athletic. I mean, why not go all the way with it? You know, like dye the hair every few weeks or months or whatever. Mess around and pop out in a dress on these fools. Headbutt motherfuckers in the ring. Jump in the crowd when you're trying to get somebody. Read the newspaper in the middle of the ring. Like, just do the crazy shit and stand out like Dennis Rodman did at basketball shows. Cause like after a while, and you know, I wasn't around at that time. I'm only 21. But you know, while he was in his peak winning championship and game after game with the, you know, prime Bulls and all, I've seen a few documentaries. Like, some people literally pop out the shows not to see the, you know, regular basketball games they could just watch at home, but to see what stunts Dennis was pulling and just to see like what color his hair was and, you know, things he would do during the game, like what, you know, what kind of technical foul he would get. And, you know, people were concerned about his outside life and, you know, how fucking wild he is in his outside life. That, you know, Dream should not have a crazy outside life. We don't need that anymore. But, you know, keep it all in character. And I mean, Dennis was even a little flamboyant, or, you know, many would say, Lil Wayne would use a very different word to say, but, you know, in the way he would be dressing, the things he would do to his opponents during games, you know, how he would be so unpredictable and spaz out on refs and cameramen, how he would, you know, tease his opponents. I mean, bro was a sports entertainer before basketball player, if anything. Whatever, man, you get it. And, you know, in this little underground run, I want to see Dream go all out. I want to see him, you know, if he has the passion for it. I mean, if he's really up for it. I want to see bro grind. I want to see bro have bangers again. I want to see bro bleed. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen him bleed on like NXT before. And like, you know, I'm not petitioning, I'm not wishing for that shit to happen. I mean, it's not really necessary. You know, the beauty in wrestling is all in the stories you tell. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not getting into that. And, you know, I'm just a fan at the end of the day. I can't book the damn show. But yeah, if I could, I mean, this is like a bullet list. This is just like kind of rough. Like, I'm not fully going all the way with it, but kind of the path I want bro to go in, regardless of what character he chooses to be. I definitely want this to be a moment. I don't want this to flop. I don't want this to be a failure. Because, you know, he's kind of like right now, he's like off and on about things. And like, that's why I'm really making this. Because like, I was like, okay, you know, when he came back to Dynasty, like, all right, he's getting his feet wet. He went to the Bahamas, like, okay, like he's popping out at these signings, you know, every few, you know, months or weeks and, you know, stuff like that. People are accepting him back at these events and shows and, you know, he's continuing to do these random one-off appearances that people don't know whether to call him Patrick Clark or Velveteen Dream. I mean, it's confusing. I mean, he got a fro, he don't got a fro, he got on gear, he don't got on the right gear. He's coming out to the music, he's not coming out to the music. It's very stop and start and kind of, it seems like he's unsure of where he wants to go. Like, if he truly wants to do this, be Dream or Patrick, and that ain't where I want this to go. So, you know, I just want to get my thoughts out. Yeah. And I feel like this journey could be, you know, really unique and like crazy, you know, change of pace for him. And like I said, this little indie circuit run back to the indies, I feel like this could really be beneficial for him in many ways. I mean, if he's willing to grind and actually, do the damn thing every weekend or well, whatever it is. I don't know. Because if you really think about it, he never really had that sort of experience in any way because, right out the gate, he was always Patrick Clark, like straight out of the Performance Center into the Velveteen Dream, straight on TV. He never really had that experience to go like full throttle into the indie circuit and just like grind and have to drive state to state and do this and that, fly, like whatever. And we all know, like, once you get that bug, man, like once you've bumped, let alone once you've, won a damn title in like one of the greatest matches I've ever seen, with Johnny Gargano. That was really good. Once you got that, and I mean, that itch don't go away, man. It can't, especially when you're not even 30 yet. And especially when it was cut so damn short. And honestly, like, even when he was released, I feel like it was always still inside of him. I feel, obviously the interest is probably less than it's ever been due to him, just finding peace and being a different man, growing up, maturing, finding different things in a new place, moving out of Florida, finding love again. But this is entertainment, and he was always a great entertainer in all aspects of the business. And like we always hear from, even the legends, we're hearing it from the legends now, giving him chances like Mark Henry and maybe eventually King Booker, who will probably give him a chance at his show, Reality of Wrestling. I think it could happen, but does he want it? Does Dream want it? Or does Patrick want it like that? Hey, because like Booker said, it's possible, you know what I'm saying? Because bro is just not out there right now. I mean, it's been an entire year. I mean, it's been like 7 months since that CVV interview came out. We've gotten the receipts. We know what it is, You posted back to the indies and you're not really back. Like, he's just kind of out there here and there. Like, he could easily, off name recognition alone, he could easily have back-to-back matches and probably be, committed to some things now. And, probably have had matches with like Zilla, like I said, Trevor, Dijak, Mike Bailey, I don't know. And it'd be easy for him to do. I don't know if he's rusty. I still don't believe he's rusty. I feel like he's always had a passion for it and he was always training somewhere, somehow. Like, I don't know. But, like I said, he could, keep up with these guys too. Because, like he did with the Black and Gold indie darling. The possibilities are endless. And, indie wrestling nowadays is, just as big as the big shows. Some of these guys be popping up to the big show and everyone knows who they are. And it's kind of like I feel the same way with him and Tessa. Like they should both be on the path to proving themselves, to fans, workers, to themselves, honestly, because they both kind of self-destructed. They both were the cause of their own downfalls in their own different ways. They're kind of disgraced on the internet, but it's like this. It's like, with Tessa, at least, because, she's, like, consistent with it. She's killing it on CMLL and is now, like, one of the head honchos over there as far as females. For sure. It's just, like, the thing is with Tessa, it's like, yeah, you hate her. Yeah, she possibly said this and that in 2017 or some shit when she was, like, 22. She's, like, damn near 30 now. She said something maybe, or she was mean to a couple people. She had bad experiences with some females. Okay, you're not going to be nice to everybody. Not everybody's going to have good things to say about you. But, she, Rhea, Cody follow her. But, that's not nothing to bring up. But, thing is, it's like, yeah, you hate her on the internet. But, nigga, if she stopped by your damn local high school gym, you can, whatever, you post about it, try to clown her for, living out her dream and, doing something she's passionate about, not hurting anybody. You're gonna sit your ass down and enjoy the damn show, because it gets to a certain point where you're just undeniable. Nah, I'm not even trying to just say that shit because that's her nickname, but that's the path I feel like Patrick should be on, and on a larger level, man, because I feel like he's arguably more known name, I would say. I don't know, it's kind of up in there, but it's crazy. These two are my favorites, male, female wrestlers alive, and of the 2020s. I think they're like the same age, late 20s and shit. Like, it's crazy, bro. What are the odds, bro? I just got the worst luck, and I feel like I'm supporting them. I'm watching all his shit. I want to be watching all his shit, get captivated by the shit they're doing, on the road back to the big shows that they were at, that Tessa was at before, and that Dream was at before. Like, my two favorites, man, I really want to see them back up because I truly believe that they were just young and not with their head in the right space. I think that's fair to say. But that second chance, though, you know what I'm saying? That's what really matters. If you make the most out of that and you don't make more enemies and make more stupid mistakes nearing 30 years old. But yeah, enough of that. You know, we've got my rough kind of opinion on what I want him to do with his career and stuff like that. But this is where it gets a little rough. And, you know, I haven't really figured it all the way out. This is why I really titled it, you know, Fantasy Booking, you know, his return or whatever. But it's kind of rough, but it's very fucking rough. But I want him to eventually return and be the Velveteen Dream again. The same character that we all know. If he goes on this crazy indie scene run as Patrick Clark, putting on these bangers, these damn street fights, in this whole Dennis Rodman persona, and eventually go back to the Dream character, just be so goated, man. It'd be like modern day ruthless aggression. But yeah, like in that indie scene, you know, gaining the respect back from fans, promoters, bookers, and to the point where he's like undeniable on a national, worldwide scale. Eventually, another name I purposefully left out of his possible matches, you know, potential opponents he could have in the indie scene, just because I don't think anyone would expect this by now, is EC damn 3. It's that damn Muppet looking dude. And before you leave a dislike, because my nigga chill, do whatever you want, but like hear me out, because like, man, I mean, hey, I don't mean to go full Russo on y'all. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, like, I don't want to put, you know, trash on TV, make crash TV, try to book real life heat into TV and like, you know, but it's like the whole situation itself, their whole feud, would you call it? Heat is so dumb because, you know, everybody was so fucked up, like, in that whole situation. It's all he say, she says, feels so minuscule in the grand scheme of things. And I believe both parties have truly moved on and still have that respect for one another. EC said that he's forgiven bro, and I don't think he would have said that if he didn't think Patrick was genuine, you know, with his apologies. And, you know, as a man, I mean, they've worked together, and he said he would eventually work with him in the future if, you know, all things were cleared, which they are. And, you know, Patrick has never really disrespected EC, especially, you know, except for that live, you know, cocaine's a hell of a drug or whatever, you know. They both threw dirt on each other's names a little or whatever. But, you know, he just like kind of said his piece, and, you know, they both kind of, you know, did that little back and forth or whatever. I don't think they've ever really said they've hated one another. No one hates each other in this situation. This could be easy money. And I feel like, you know, EC could be the perfect guy, you know, a past opponent, past rival. You know, they had some pretty good segments, great takeover match. EC can't remember half of it. But yeah, I feel like he could be the perfect guy to bring the Dream out of Patrick Clark again. Because, you know, even with Taker, I think like Kane had to bring out the Taker out of the American Badass. And I'm saying like this feud could be fucking generational, iconic, just like bringing up their past and talking about how, you know, he's not the same, he's not as good as he once was, Dream is better than Clark, blah blah blah, you know, the Dream is really over, you know, you know, like teasing him, you know, like you know, trying to get the best out of him, trying to play him. Like I was saying, this would shock the world, man. This would flip everybody out, especially people who, you know, paid attention to this. And, you know, like they said on the Wrestling Outlaws podcast, EC3's in the ring cutting a promo, and the lights shut off, and the purple haze comes up, and Dream pops up behind him to hit him with that little twisted DDT thing he did so good. And also, like I said before, talking about that spot like they could do, like it would be a callback to, you know, the accusation or whatever of Dream recorded him. You know, like Dream could, you know, while they're in a match on the outside, Dream would fucking grab a phone, a prop, you know, a phone, and, you know, put it up on the steps or wherever, prop it up, and like get him framed to do that little twisted neck breaker, like, you know, he would do like Rick Rude on EC3. It'd be hard. And, you know, the setup of that match, like not only would it be, you know, shocking and just like, you know, people would want to see that. It's something that people would want to see, you know, if it had a proper build. And it's like on the surface, I don't know, it may seem a little lame, like, oh, I thought they hate each other, but it's like, bro, they're like, it works because of that, because they have a past. And, you know, it's kind of another way of, you know, Patrick undoing, you know, people he's, you know, wronged in the past, or, you know, has had a feud with, and, you know, them working together and control your narrative or wherever it may be. NWA, it would be a symbol of like, man, we're cool. That was the issue we had. It's dead. And, it was a long time ago. This is man to man. We're professionals about it. This the homie now. All that was confusing. It'd be a check mark on his career. It'd be legendary, bro. We made it past that. And look at us now, man, putting on a banger. And I want to say that feud specifically and like bringing out the dream out of Patrick Clark. It doesn't really have to be EC3, but like I said, he's the perfect guy. Like I said, if we booking it, this could be anybody. This could be a fan. It could be a Mark who's like a wrestler now who's like, oh man, the dream was great, but this Patrick Clark guy, I don't know. Just like, you just play on that. But like I said, it'd be even better if it was on, I don't know, NWA. If Patrick ever gets there, building up his name on the indie scene. EC teasing him every week, and slowly more and more purple comes out, and I don't know, something like that. It'd be pretty cool. And then after his little indie run, if it goes successfully, he brings back that character, the Velveteen Dream character, full throttle, right where he left off, man. Right after that damn tired ass Adam Cole feud he had and whatever. I feel like his true last feud, if you remember, was with Kushida. Will a real Kushida please stand up? But yeah, right where he left off, like nothing ever happened. Bringing that character to a TNA, hopefully, because that window is open to what company, and I would rather see him in that company because they're more focused on character and story, and I just rather see that than him in AEW. Just like, I don't know, I feel like Dream and AEW doesn't really fit, because who wouldn't want to see Dream and the new Hurt Business on the same roster? He'll be perfectly fitted there. Leo Rush, how could I forget about Leo Rush? I'm pretty sure they're still cool. Leo Rush could be the replacement for Cedric Alexander in the new Hurt Business, and he has a history with Dream, so just like, oh man, like it could be so good, man. They could have a rivalry. They could have a few matches. They could kill it on the X division. He could kill it on the X division. There's so much he could do, bro. There's so much. It's just so much. There's so much he could do. Like, the possibilities are endless, especially with his name recognition, talent, and just, oh man, I just hope this doesn't go to waste. And because people are supporting him, believe it or not. It might be hard to see due to comments on the internet and the 10,000th downfall video you've seen on him on your feed or whatever. But man, it'd be so cool. It'd be so cool to see him in TNA, and just like I said, he'd be more fitting there. And then eventually we get him back home, and it'd be a legendary journey to follow that. We could all look back and be like, damn, man, when Patrick Clark, when he like fell off, like due to, the internet and, personal issues, he got back on the indie scene and grinded his teeth. And we could see all the behind the scene clips on his channel, and he's making great connections, great friends, and mending fences or whatever, telling great stories, getting more experience, because at the end of it, like I said, he's a performance center baby. Like, it's all he knows, as far as we could tell, right? He never really had this type of journey, and it's just like he could be learning more beyond than what he already knows now, and he knows a lot. This is already a documentary in and of itself. If it goes this road, it could be bigger than a whole new era. This is all like documentary worth stuff, and it'd be such a unique and different way for bro to redeem himself in the eyes of some fans, and even himself in a way. But like I said, regardless of what I said, regardless of what I want, it's gonna get to the point where he eventually is so good, hopefully, like if he goes any route, if he just continues doing what he's doing and is grinding like he and is grinding like he should, and being the entertainer that he once was, it's gonna get to the point where where like, no matter how long this takes, no matter how many years it does or whatever, he's not only gonna be earning the respect of everybody again, but demanding it, really demanding it. And it's really all I gotta say. See ya, face ass.